nice and smooth. You know, a lot of people think about getting a smooth tempoed swing, the idea of swinging slower, hitting farther. And what's not talked about often with tempo is how tempo is more of a natural thing. It happens when your swing is working correctly. Bad tempoed swings are the ones that look like a fight. It looks like you're catching a marlin. Rushes, grasping for the club, squeezing, tightening. You feel your body working out of sync. And one of the reasons why it's one of the biggest problems out there in the golf world is because there are so many things going on in people's swings that they might not know about that are causing slowdowns. Things where you have to consciously grasp at the club. When we slow down a club, here's what it looks like. If I'm going back and I want to swing faster, but I slow down, that's slowing me down. I'm stopping. But oftentimes your body, what it's doing is it's trying to figure out how to deal with the problems in your swing. It's trying to figure out how to hit that ball with what you've got. So today we're looking at how to build a swing that's got nice, smooth tempo by taking out the annoying extra pieces that you don't need in your swing. If we take our shoulders, and I'm allowed to freely turn them, my left shoulder goes under my chin, my right shoulder goes under my chin. Like I sprayed WD-40 on them, they're gonna work like this all day long, nice and well oiled. But if for some reason my shoulders aren't allowed to work like this smoothly, then I've got to slow down. So here's a classic example, and this goes on everywhere today. People get to the top, then as I start down, the right shoulder stops, just hangs out back here, and you see this fall back and flip. Look at where the right shoulder is. But then if I contrast that with your longest players and the best players in the world, any great golfer, you'll see this shoulder, whew, they have an incredible speed from the top and through as if this shoulder never had a slowdown. It's uninhibited. It's allowed to move. That is where smooth tempo comes from. There can't be slowdowns if this gets towards the target without issues. And that's where that smoothness look comes from, even though the players are swinging really fast. So it's swinging easier because there's no slowdowns. Anytime I have a slowdown and I grunt and I grab the club, I feel tension and I feel like I'm tightening up. I feel like I'm working harder. That's what's often not talked about with tempo. See, I could get up here and say, it's easy for anybody to say, hey, just swing slower. Just slow it down. Okay, yeah. Well, if I swing slower and I'm over the top, I don't care. I have to grunt to hit that ball. I'm sorry, Grass, don't tell the superintendent. But the idea is, in that swing, I had a slowdown. As the club is going over and down, the shoulder's stopping and I'm grunting. Versus, if I said to my shoulder, I need you to go to the target without stopping, then I will be accepting a much smoother result. So you're seeing my shoulder get past the ball versus dropping down. So let's move it past the ball. You're seeing a lot more speed. You can even hear it on the shots. But if I swing over it, or if I have a slowdown, let me try and flip at it. I have this shoulder stops. I can't move it past the ball. And you start seeing, look at that. Flipping begins, the right arm straightening, I'm standing up, the right shoulder's back. People then say, you swung too fast. The people on the golf cart that you're playing golf with will most likely say that you picked your head up, you swung too fast, hey, slow down. But what I'm showing you is I slowed down and I still grunted. It's not about slowing down, it's about improving your shoulder movement. How do we create a worry-free, variable-free golf swing? How do we get the shoulders to move around the body? We've got to build a unit that takes the club around the body. We've got to build a machine. So the first thing to prevent slowdowns you must master your contact point. Because as you saw me do here, as I'm dropping my shoulder, I'm flipping, contact's gone. But if I have a machine that's set up to strike the ball first and take a divot after, then that's something that frees up the shoulders to move around the body. So the first thing you have to focus on is what creates good contact. And the things that create good contact start in your setup. Weight distribution. Favor the front side. Weight on the front side. Think 60-40. So I'm feeling more on the front. I'm pushing my belt towards the target. And then the next thing is presetting impact. Hands ahead. You know, what's a flip look like? Looks like this. My right arm is straight. What's good contact look like? Looks like this. My left arm is straight and the right arm is bent. Very different world. And if I had these things and I just swung, I don't have to think too much about it, there's a divot. You'd swear it's magic, but it's just basic physics and geometry at work. These things are laws, by the way. I can't choose to disobey the law of gravity. I'll never win that battle, for example. These things are proven to work because they work when you do them. We could sit here all day, hands ahead. As long as I kept this, wait for it, and this relationship, I will, not I should, I will. That's a 4-letter word in golf that you don't hear. And that's another word we need more in golf. Hear, listen more instead of hear. This is the stuff that is impactful, impact. It made an impact on my game to create good contact. It will make an impact on your game. And I'm not saying this to be boastful. I'm saying this because it's just laws. We're working with laws. So I get excited about it knowing that, hey, there's some certainty in this game. Now so I've created good contact. I create a machine. I built my swing around this machine. Yeah, we took some chip shots there, but this setup, I just take it and I think shoulders all the way to the top. So I'm taking this relationship and I'm just moving it to the top. So I know it looks different. I know it looks like, oh, you're hinging your wrists and you're doing some other things with your arms, like you're folding your arms, so it's not all the same. But it actually is the same. So what I have here is what I have at the top. And that's a hard concept to see because the golf swing, we're looking around at different points in the golf swing. The golf swing is 3-dimensional. So you have to change your perspective to see this. Here is the same as here. Look, you see it? So I'm keeping this intact. That's a machine. You want to know how to do that, check out the SagutoGolf online golf school. It shows you how to build the machine. Now, second thing, I've got the shoulders. So I think moving this around my body with the shoulders, my left shoulder under my chin in the downswing, my right shoulder passing my chin. I did a lesson with Dave, you saw this on my channel. We worked on right shoulder passing the chin and then all of a sudden, years of bad habits vanished. He finally felt crisp strike. So if I can keep this unit intact, look how intact this is. Check this out. Look at how together this is. I am creating an actual machine with my arms. I am rigid. This is structure. Would you trust a structure that was built like sand, clay? Because we're trying to create a machine. We're trying to do this every single time. We have to have structure. If I lose structure, contact's gone. This all comes back to tempo, by the way. We need structure to have tempo. We need structure to have good contact. Good contact allows the shoulders to move. So with this structure, I'm rigid. Look at my veins, they're popping out. It's together. When you first do this, it'll feel tense. How do I keep the structure moving? I can't force the structure apart. I must keep it together. And if I'm keeping it together, the way I move it is shoulder. So then when I get over the ball and I'm going to hit this one, I just set my contact point with my setup. So wait for it. And if I keep this, swing the shoulders, I will hit it solid. The only time I won't hit it solid is if I lost my structure. And I lose my marbles when I lose my structure. So I'm keeping the structure. and I'm keeping the right shoulder moving through the ball. That ball is taken off quite a bit. There's a lot of speed in there because I have my structure. You're going to see more power too, because to move the structure on the body, you need to use your shoulders. When I'm finishing, the shoulders pass the ball. Okay, so a great reference point for you if you really want to see how this can work with a little drill. Just place a second ball right here in line. It's perpendicular to my target line. And I just want to use this as a visual. If my shoulder, my right shoulder passes the ball, then I did it correctly. And I use this line on my shirt. So you see a lot of these polos have this line. I see this line passing the ball. So by the time I've gone through impact, look at that, it's well past the ball. This would be at the ball. I don't want this after impact. So I'm tracing that shoulder past the ball. I will strike it well if I get the shoulder past the ball. I won't if I don't. It's clear cut. Now I'm going to do a little bit of a shorter follow through. What I would love to see the shoulder pass the ball. I'd love to see that happen at least here. So I'm going to stop shorter to show you, and you should do this too. Stop a little shorter. There's a lot of speed. You got to allow the speed to go through, but look at the shoulder. Well past the ball. The swing is smooth. It doesn't look forced because the shoulders are allowed to move. That is the essence of tempo. The number one killer of tempo is downswing related flaws. So if the club starts moving more vertical and down, well, you're gonna have to find a way to hit the ball even though it's moving straight down on the ground. You gotta pull in and slow down. That's a slowdown. No matter how much you fire your hips and twist your butt and do all this stuff, if the club's going down, it's gonna slow down. So it doesn't matter. Tempo doesn't care about your feelings. So to get the club in this good position, we've built structure at setup. If I keep the structure intact, the club's shallow at the top, and when I start down, it stays shallow. The right shoulder moves and the club stays shallow. That's a golden concept that I will teach you in my SagutoGolf online golf school. If you want to get a taste of it, check out the lesson with Dave. That is mashed. We do the mash, we do the monster mash. That is awesome. And the shaft staying shallow allows the shoulder to keep moving. That is the key gem, aside from building some structure to allow the shoulders to move. The shoulder keeps moving. Shoulder keeps moving. Powerful release of power. Let's not do that now. Let's go the opposite. Steep shaft. Have to figure out a way to hit this so the shoulder stops moving, comes down, right arm straightens, and it's stuck. It's stuck. I'm stuck. You got to take a laxative to unstick that. And you could even do a one-arm swing to see this in action. Keep it moving versus not. You want to know why you struggle with driver, with woods, with any club in the bag. The longer clubs, your shoulder's stopping. Look, if I stop, I can't. It won't let me. Shoulder back, shoulder through. Always focusing on this. It's a pin. Shoulder back, past the chin. Why is that happening? Why is it clean? Because we set up a machine. Why? Because we want to do that without practicing much. Why? Because we have lives. We have commitments. We have things to do. Golf is a hobby and we want to enjoy it. And we only get one shot at golf, one shot at life. Life is too short to play bad golf. Why waste time? Holy mackerel. Oh. Seguto golfers, have a wonderful day.